Okay, this is part 2 because I didn't hit the pause, I hit the stop after I talked about the dehydrated tomato. Okay, so heirloom. Now, heirloom are funny for me, and I don't know if it's just because we get into the season at the end, but at the beginning I had these beautiful ones. I had like a 26-ounce one, and it was amazing. It tasted great. Everything's fantastic. So I have this one. I think it could use a little bit more sun, but it was starting to split. So when things start to split, I kind of take them in, and I might put it in my window for a little bit. And oddly enough, I don't know if because of the rain or what, but it's like I turn it upside down, it's very moist in there. So depending on the growing conditions. And so what happens is usually I get these tomatoes, I cut it in half. It's beautifully red and delicious on the bottom, and then it's like yellow, and I'm like, oh, it needs a little more time, but then it starts to like rot. So obviously I just kind of like go through it. I don't want to waste anything, so I'll go through and everything. So the inside for me, and I don't know if other people's look like this, but it's just kind of like mealy and very seedy. But the flavor is still so rich. Perfect for like a burger or a salad. Like, you just can't go wrong with heirloom. And these seeds are from last year that I saved, and I'm going to save them again because I don't want to buy any more seeds. I think I'm kind of narrowing it down to what I want to do. And I'll show you about how I'm doing the seed saving. So I'm going to grab a few of those, even though, you know, like I said, some come out great, some just have this weird funky thing. I think it depends when, you know, we have blight in the garden because it's a community garden. So whenever disease and everything starts to spread. Sorry, I need a little coffee there. And, but what I was happy with is I think I pushed the disease off a little bit by cutting the branches so that nothing was touching the ground. I tried not to have everything touch each other, but now I know how different plants grow and get crazy. So that too, you want to make sure that they're not touching. But I think sometimes it's just a matter of time, and I'm at the point now that everything just has to ripen. So going forth, that's awesome. So these, because I really truly screwed up my signs, I don't know what I'm dealing with. Now I bought black crim seeds. I don't know if these are black crim, but you know, you pick them when they're starting to get soft, which they're, you know, squishy, but they're still green at the top. A little bit, you know, harder, but you know, it's like you leave them for just a certain amount of time, and then, like, you know, they start to split and everything, and that's when, you know, bugs and rotting can take place. So of course I pull them, and this is the bottom half of that, and that's the inside. I do believe they're black crim, or maybe they're just some weird heirloom experiment that I had. I'm going to cut a little bit to try to taste it. I don't think I was too overwhelmed with it. And, you know, the tomato is one thing, but nature is another. And depending on the sun, the rain, the soil, these are really great when you dehydrate them. They have such delicious flavor. Not bad. I don't feel that the flavor is as strong as the heirloom. And I really do. I feel like it's a lot. You know, nature, you know, maybe depending on when people buy plants, they actually have that head start and they have that little more strength about them. These, again, were grown from seed. So I really can't complain, but it's always an interesting factor to see what do things taste like. So these little monsters, the indigo kumquat, hugely prolific. If you're going to grow them so that they're kind of near, if you have like an archway or something. Mine are growing near my loofahs that didn't produce anything this year. But when they get so tall, you know, unless you have 10-foot stakes, there's no way you're going to like properly tie them. So what's nice is that when they're growing, they lean against the archway, which saves me a lot of time and energy. But really, really good, beautiful, very, like I said, high producers. And you want to wait. Like I experimented a lot because I was always like Miss Picky Fingers, can't just leave something alone. It's greener, but you really want to wait till it gets kind of more like a golden yellow and get it right before like it starts to split. See, that one was starting to split, so I picked it, but that's when it just gets to the point. I think it's kind of like done, whether it's just too much rain or whatever, but you want to make sure that you have the purple, not too much green, almost like a golden orange. That's what I found. That was a complete experiment because I did these from seed too. Now, they're firm, not too much flavor, but they just don't disappoint in the garden. You want something that's going to be eye-catching, produces great, doesn't rot. This is a good choice for you. So the Campari, I bought these primarily because they said that they were disease resistant. And, you know, I think, I'm not out there now, but I think, you know, the blight gets everything, but the tomatoes are producing and they're ripening at a beautiful, beautiful pace. This one's a little, they're still a little bit hard, but I kind of like them like that, but you can keep them on. They have been, I don't know how they pick them. They must really rotate them and baby them at the greenhouse, because, you know, you have like a branch of like 8 of them, and then they snip them and they put them in that jar, you know, like at Costco, so that you can just buy them in the plastic. I don't know how they do that. Mine just ripen at different intervals, but that's okay. And they're perfectly shaped. They ripen. There was no disease problems. The flavor is really good, sweet, and that's definitely one that I'm going to do again. Now, I could save seeds. I'm only saving seeds probably from 3, even though I have seeds from last year that I'm going to use up next year. That's the thing. Like, once you finally get what you want to do, this was an experiment for me because I want to get like 4 solid varieties that I want to grow all the time. And then I'll just keep using the seeds. I don't have to buy anymore. But I have a ton of seeds from last time, so I want to use them up, even though my favorites I just want to keep bringing forth with the seed saving method. So, all right. So now we're on to the indigo rose. So now the pictures that you see, now they get this beautiful, beautiful black blue. Really, really shiny. And then the shiny becomes dull. And then the part, this is the part that the sun sees. On the back here is where the sun does not. But they say it turns red. So I'm thinking, is this red enough? I don't know. Well, it was starting to split, so again, I pulled it. It is like, gives way to the thumb, so it's like on the firmer side. So it's kind of like a reddish, pinkish. It probably could go like another day. I have a ton more, so I'm just going to kind of let them go, and I'm going to watch and experiment. So, you know, this is the time that you pull things too early, you pull things too late, you kind of figure it out. But this is them cut up. So they're kind of like pinky inside. I wish they were a little bit redder, but they're kind of cool. For flavor, I don't know, like, and I think, like, again, flavor varies year to year. Kind of not really that much flavor, and kind of slightly sour, kind of bitter a little bit. Not my favorite, but I am going to just cut them in half, and I'm going to put them in the dehydrator because I'd like to try to actually, you know, put some in oil, because that would be great with like some fresh basil and some garlic. Oh. So these are from last year. These are chocolate cherries, and to me these are seriously my favorite. They're my favorite. The heirloom are second. Indigo, kumquat, and Campari are kind of like tied at third. I grew these last year, and I think I bought like a separate pack, or maybe it was like a blend of a whole bunch of different ones. But this is what they look like. They're green and kind of like a light purplish red, you know, and you pick them when they give a little bit. I've learned that, because at first I was like, wait, this is too green, but I'm like, no, it's soft, it's time to go. And when you cut them open, they're green a little bit inside. But they are by far the best tasting. They're firm, they're sweet, they're tart, they're meaty. They're absolutely phenomenal. These are by far my favorite. And I think I only have one plant. I don't know why. I know I screwed up the labeling. We talked about that a million times. But I don't know if some died. I had a lot of plant death. So that was a bummer. All right, so let's hop over to seed saving. So there are videos online. I can't remember the guy that I got it from, but it was very clear, very straightforward. What you do, I dated it, and that's indigo kumquat. This is chocolate cherry because I want to take these. So in here, it's covered, but you cut the tomato, you squeeze out the pulp, everything, just scoop it out, measure it. So say you have a tablespoon of the pulp and seed. You want to put double that amount of water in a dish. So 1 tablespoon, you're going to have 2 tablespoons of water. Put it in a dish, label it, cover it. Over time, you see there's a little bit of mold growing in there? This whole thing is going to become moldy. And I believe it's like anywhere from 3 to 5 days. But you wait till there's like a huge, slimy, furry mess on top. Like literally the whole top layer is all furry. What it's doing is it's nibbling away that slimy coating on the tomato so that you have the seed and so that you can replant it. Because you cannot dehydrate that and have it come out proper. There's still going to be that slimy coat. So the bacteria and the mold is going to nibble that away so you have just the seed. And it's pretty cool when you see it because it really works. So again, nature doing its thing to help us. So there you go. I am going to do some seed saving of my heirloom over here because I love that. I have black krim seeds. I may give some away. I have a couple of friends who actually like to delve into the whole seed growing thing. Indigo kumquat, I'm going to grow those, but I also have seeds I might give away. Campari, I have seeds, so I'm not going to worry about it, but indigo rose, I have seeds. Chocolate cherry, very important. I need to keep that line going. All right, so here's one more thing I'm going to talk about that we were talking about, the Husk cherries. Note to self, if I had one and you need a lot of space, right now, in order for me to get these, I either need a little Oompa Loompa or a tiny child who follows directions. Because I have to get down on my hands and knees and literally become one with the ground. I feel like I'm traveling through the jungle on my stomach. It's ridiculous. But very cool, very cool. And then you want to make sure that your body isn't like knocking things over. So these are different stages of, actually I'm going to move them this way, of how they grow. So you're going to see like all 3 of these maybe on the plant. Okay, so this one on the plant, still green. Do you see how it's still green? And inside, it's still green. Not ready. I mean, it still is edible, but not ready. This is stage 2. You see how it's like more yellow? See? It's getting there. This is the one you're pretty much looking for. It almost turns, gets a little drier, turns more peachy, papery, and inside it's like really kind of goldeny peachy. So you can see like kind of the different color variations. Green, no picky. This one and that one, this is the perfect ripeness. And then 2 you might see when they're on the plant, this is actually attached to the plant still, and this sometimes pulls away. I don't know why that happens, but chances are it's just going to go bad or rot, so sometimes these fall. I just pick them anyway because they're totally edible. They're at a good stage. A little tart still. Let's see what that tastes like. Oh, way too tart. Yep, no. I mean, I still eat it, but too tart. I'm not ready. And this is the one that's completely done. What a difference. Super sweet. Pineapple-y. Kind of a little mango-y. It's really interesting. It's really good. It took up so much room. It has literally invaded all of my tomatoes. I would love just one plant next year because I just don't have the space. If I did have the space, I would make a row of these because they're so much fun. They're beautiful. And the fact that they grew like they did, couldn't be happier. So that is it. Hopefully there is a little information for you. If you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear them. Any insight from other avid gardeners is always helpful. I'm always reaching out and emailing the people I buy the seeds from, because sometimes I'm like totally clueless as to what's going on. And that's it. So have a nice day.